What's up, Fantasy Pros? My name is Andrew Erickson. Today we break it down 10 players to trade before Week 5 kicks off. But before I get to my list, if you want a chance to win a signed Christian McCaffrey San Francisco 49ers jersey, courtesy of bettingpros.com, your place to start betting smarter and not harder, all you have to do is subscribe to the Fantasy Pros YouTube channel right now, comment below on this video, and that's it. We'll be announcing a winner right here on the channel. So make sure to turn on those notifications so you can be alerted when new episodes are up and to claim your prize. Let's not waste any more time. Time to get to the trade list for Week 5. Running back Breese Hall, New York Jets. If I were to buy low on any Jets player, it would be Breese Hall. Hall carried the ball 6 times for 56 yards, including a big 43-yard gain on Sunday night, while Dalvin Cook went 5 for 16. Hall also added 3 catches for 13 yards on 4 targets, wrapping his night up with a 44% snap share for a total of 26 snaps. Cook settled at just a 25% snap share. The time is now to buy Hall. He's slowly edging out Cook in volume while flashing the explosive upside we saw pre-torn ACL last season. With the Jets offense showing some signs of life versus Kansas City, there's a chance that Hall could still be a league winner in the second half of the year. The Broncos are the league's worst defense, where we could finally see Hall go nuclear in Week 5 and remind us all why he was drafted so highly. Trade James Conner, Raheem Mostert, Miles Sanders, or this next running back to get Hall on your team. Running back Alexander Madison, Minnesota Vikings. Madison was the workhorse in the Vikings backfield, getting 95 rushing yards on 17 carries in Week 4. Cam Akers' debut did little to impact him on the surface, as the former Ram carried the ball just 5 times, but posted a solid 40 yards on 8 yards per carry. Oh, that's new. And it was a true 8 yards per carry with rushes of 6, 8, 9, 7, and 10 yards. And Akers, who's been a total zero in the passing game throughout his career, saw 2 targets to Madison's 1 in his first game as a Viking. He ran 7 routes to Madison's 10. Sell high on Alexander Madison. Akers' 7 touches and 29% snap share were already higher than any snap rate or workload Ty Chandler had through the first 3 games of the year. Madison's 69% snap share was a season low. It could be a timeshare sooner rather than later, or worse, if Akers usurps Madison outright, because the Vikings running back has been underwhelming to say the least this year, ranking 3rd in fantasy points scored under expectation this season. Move Madison for Rashad White, Dameon Pierce, or his wide receiver teammate. Wide receiver Jordan Addison, Minnesota Vikings. Nobody else did much in the Minnesota passing game besides Justin Jefferson, as Kirk Cousins only threw 19 times in Week 4. Buy low on guys like Addison. The rookie still ran a route on 73% of the dropbacks, despite dropping the goose egg on 1 deep target near the end zone. Buy low with guys like George Pickens, Christian Watson, or DeAndre Hopkins. The Chiefs and Bears are up next. I'm sure the first-year wide receiver will see plenty of usage. Speaking of Bears, wide receiver DJ Moore, Chicago Bears. Moore had a standout game for the Bears, hauling in 8 of his 9 targets for 131 yards and 1 touchdown versus the Broncos, showcasing his big playability. We saw last year, once this Bears offense got going, they gained momentum. Use that as your selling point. I'm mostly looking to hold my Bears skill players or sell for maximum return on investment. Again, the Broncos are probably the worst defense in the NFL. We have seen teams come crashing back down to earth the following week after beating up on Denver's defense. The first 3 teams to face Denver played the Bills the following week with an average margin of loss of 31 points. As for more specifically, he has scored the 6th most points over expectation, which suggests regression is coming his way. He's wide receiver 15 in points per game versus wide receiver 48 in usage. Sell high. Flip DJ Moore for Amari Cooper, Michael Pittman, Calvin Ridley, or Zay Flowers straight up, or package him to get this next wide receiver. Wide receiver Chris Olave, New Orleans Saints. Derek Carr constantly kept missing Chris Olave in Week 4, limiting him to 1 catch for 4 yards on 6 targets. His whopping 146 air yards converted into nothing. Woof. Are we sure that Derek Carr is a good match for Olave a month in? This was a concern I had entering the year. However, for the short term, I would view Olave as a sharp buy low, as he checks off the boxes of a buy low air yards wide receiver. He's just one of 6 wide receivers with 500 plus air yards this year. He's 9th in expected fantasy points per game. The Patriots and Texans are up next for the Saints, both who are extremely thin at the cornerback position. Expect Olave to be in for a major bounce back. Buy him with this running back coming off a big game. Running back Derrick Henry, Tennessee Titans. Nobody is more hot or cold than the Titans. One week they can't do anything, the next they just dominate. Derrick Henry got rolling with 122 yards on 22 carries with 1 long rushing touchdown in Week 4. He also threw a touchdown. Tajay Spears carried the ball 5 times for 40 yards while adding in 3 catches on 4 targets. But he still also played 53% of the snaps. Spears also ran more routes than Derrick Henry. This one is too easy. Sell high on Derrick Henry. Again, as I mentioned at the top, This team is super hot, cold. Sell high when the getting is good. Be afraid of a fierce Colts defensive line in week 5 on the road. Don't get things confused. The Titans offensive line is still bad. Bad offensive lines do not play well on the road. And note that Henry's usage is still nowhere near where it was last year, with Spears threatening his total workload. Spears is part of the offensive game plan every single week. Henry ranks just 24th in expected fantasy points per game this year. Move the big dog for Aaron Jones, Jahmyr Gibbs, or this next running back who also played his college ball at Alabama. Running back Brian Robinson Jr., Washington Commanders. Robinson was a key contributor in the rushing game for the Commanders, gaining 45 yards on 14 carries and finding the end zone once in week 4. He should have scored twice, but fumbled into the end zone. He totaled 5 red zone touches, he played 55% of the snaps, and ran just one fewer route than Antonio Gibson. That's huge. Gibson took a backseat in the receiving game to Brian Robinson, who saw 2 targets for Gibson's 1. It's positive development for Robinson, who the team just seems to absolutely adore. If we get Robinson in a full 3-down role, he will be a fringe fantasy RB1 rest of the way. Buy high. Could be in for a monster game versus the Chicago Bears on Thursday night. He's currently tied for 12th in the NFL in rushing yards and 13th in carries. Currently the RB8 in points per game. Snag Brian Robinson with DJ Moore or this next sell high wide receiver. Wide receiver Christian Watson, Green Bay Packers. Watson only ran a route on 48% of the dropbacks last Thursday night as he was on a snap count. However, he was targeted on 20% of his routes, caught 2 passes for 25 yards, including a wide open touchdown at the goal line. However, this was after Romeo Doubs got tackled inside the 5 and after AJ Dillon was stuffed. Watson's routes will increase in week 5, making him somebody whose fantasy value could increase. However, I think I'm in a position where I like to sell high on Watson after he scored, because his path to being the number 1 receiver has changed drastically. Doubs, Jaden Reed, Luke Musgrave have all shown they can earn targets and be part of the Packers offense. If someone is valuing Watson as high as a round 4 draft capital was during the draft season, I'd capitalize. Watson is still viewed as the wide receiver 21 in rest of season rankings, while Doubs is 47. Doubs is wide receiver 18 in points per game and wide receiver 12 in expected points per game, even though it's clear that Doubs and Jordan Love have a connection. And that didn't change in week 4 with Watson back in the starting lineup. Doubs was viewed as a candidate that could lead the Packers in catches this season, and so far, he's coming through on those lofty expectations. Move Watson for the likes of Amari Cooper, Michael Pittman, Jahmyr Gibbs, Zay Flowers, or package him up for my number 1 buy running back. Running back Travis Etienne, Jacksonville Jaguars. The Jaguars running game led by Etienne aimed to control the clock in week 4 versus the Falcons. Despite gaining only 55 yards on 20 carries, the ground attack helped sustain drives and control field position, but no big runs with a long of 7 yards. He also tallied 3 catches. Overall, 23 touches and an 85% snap share. Etienne continues to be a bell cow. He's 3rd in the NFL in touches through a month, but Etienne's usage is not reflecting his final box scores. The Jags offense is still finding their footing as they've had to shuffle their offensive line, but they're going to get back starting left tackle Cam Robinson soon from his suspension. The offense will need to be up to the task with the Bills coming into town in London in week 5. The Bills are allowing a league-high 6.3 yards per carry this season. Buy Etienne with hotshot Devon Achane, Ken Walker, Josh Jacobs, or CeeDee Lamb. Consider packaging this next running back as well to get Travis Etienne. Running back Jerome Ford, Cleveland Browns. Jerome Ford started in week 4, was underwhelming, rushing just 9 times for 26 yards. At least he caught 5 passes and 6 targets with a backup quarterback under center. Still, Kareem Hunt also tallied 5 carries, but was not targeted. With the bye week and the 49ers coming up in week 6, it's not great for Ford. You gotta sell him. He ranked 2nd to last in the NFL in rushing success rate and total rushing EPA this season. So although I'll acknowledge his snaps and receiving usage is encouraging, the schedule and Hunt's potential to take on a larger chunk concern me long term. Note that in the first half of week 4, it was just a 6-4 carry split between Ford and Hunt. Move forward for the likes of Tank Dell, Jerry Jeudy, Jordan Addison, Rashad White, or Dameon Pierce. That concludes my list of 10 players to trade before week 5 kicks off. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a like, subscribe, and share with all your friends. And again, be sure to check out the rest of season rankings over at FantasyPros.com to help you with all your trades. But before you go, remember, if you want a chance to win a signed Christian McCaffrey San Francisco's 49ers jersey, courtesy of bettingpros.com, your place to start betting smarter and not harder, you need to subscribe to the Fantasy Pros YouTube channel right now, comment below on this video, and that's it. We're announcing a winner right here on the channel. So make sure to turn on those notifications so you can be alerted when new episodes are up and to claim your prize. Again, thanks for watching.